When I was just a little wide-eyed child, trying to beat the heat, I saw that cool, clear water running in the creek. Well, I climbed up on the highest branch of a tall pine tree. Well, I closed my eyes and I held my breath. Then I heard my mama call to me. She said, you better look before you leave. You might find yourself in way too deep. There may be danger that you can't see. You better look before you leave. When I got a little bit older, well, I was talking with my best friend. I told her I had kissed a boy and I wanted to do it again. She said, let's go see my big sister. Well, baby, she can talk some sense. She's in a world of trouble, and she's the voice of experience. Her sister told us, look before you leave. You might find yourself in way too deep. There may be danger that you can't see. You better look before you leave. Chances will be taken. It's easy to go too far. The more you think about it, the better off you are. Someone's coming with a proposition, and I think I smell a rat. I say, wait a minute, mister, I need to think about that. I take a little time to listen to the voices inside my head. It's my mama and my best friend's sister, and I remember what it was they said. They said, you better look before you leave. You might find yourself in way too deep. There may be danger that you can't see. You better look before you leave. Yes, you better look before you leave. You better look before you leave. You better look before you leave. Yeah, now.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? And love is my way to play. Why do they fall in love? Why does the rain fall from up above? Why do fools fall in love? Why do they fall in love?
How's everybody doing today? Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the most recent raid. Thank you for all the hosts. Everyone, how are you doing today? It's very, very nice to see you all. I do appreciate you taking the time to join me in the chat today, joining me on Twitch. Is, without a doubt, one of the most requested videos that I've ever done before, and I feel like other people have done it. Brotato certainly has done it. There's a lot of areas where we can talk about streamer school, but I got to tell you guys, the reason I'm here is simply because this is a reactive response to a lot of the emails that I've been getting, a lot of the emails and questions that my coworkers and cohorts in other areas of PR have been talking about, and I feel like you guys are not informed. I think it's important that you get the information that you need right now, and there's no doubt in my mind that you're more than capable of finding the information that you want, and I'm beyond excited to share it with you. So, with that said, I have every single intention of, really taking care of you, making sure you have every bit of information that you need, and, moving from there, we're going to be talking about a few things. So, green screen is there, ignore it, things like that, don't worry about it. But the information we're talking about today is simple. You are streamers, you are influencers, you are people who create YouTube videos, and you are always looking for the right content information for developers who are creating those games. There are different people who are handling that kind of push, whether it's the developers themselves who are distributing code to those games or information on those games. There are PR companies that handle all that information, publishers, sometimes a single individual, and sometimes outsourced PR companies like Sandbox Strategies. I'm going to walk you through the process of how Sandbox works when our client comes to us saying they want certain things done, right down to how I contact you, and you're also going to find out what happens when you reach out to us and how you should go about that. So the first question on everyone's mind is, what do I, who am I, and how do I get in contact with these folks? And the hardest part about this seems to be it's finding the information. The first thing you should be thinking about is finding the game that you want. I've probably said this maybe more times than I can count, that if there's one thing that you should absolutely be doing is you should be very, very sure of the games that you want to play. Now, this is after you've taken the time to properly document the games that you want. You've taken the time to make a list of the games that you want to play. You have been 100% sure about every single thing that you kind of want to take to your channel, the kind of community you want. So you know what games are coming to your channel. If you go to the store, you go to GameStop now, and you know what you're going to be shopping for, then that's how you should be treating the contacts that you're going to be looking out for. So, starting with square one, I set up my chat. I set up the channel and the overlay like this because I want you to feel like this is your computer. I want you to feel like you can do this as easily as I'm about to do it for you. So I'll go step by step. We'll talk about different emails. We'll talk about how to search. So I'm going to put up a Google window, and I want you to see everything that I'm seeing because I don't want you to think it's some big industry secret. Looking for information is just as hard for me as it is for you sometimes. So I'm going to show you how capable you can be doing this. So, with that said, I think I'm going to begin here. We're going to open up a window and talk about finding information. Hang tight. I just lost a window. I apologize. Go figure. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So, I've got to fix this one. There we go. All right, so like I was saying before, this is going to be us. This is going to be us, kind of treating it the way you are, okay? So we're going to start off with a very simple game. I'll use an older game that we may not have thought of before, okay? So let's just say you wanted information on... There we go. Sorry, I had to fix something. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch here. You're on Google, and you're thinking about Dungeon Defenders 2, okay? You've heard about the game. You want to be able to contact developers for it, and there's many ways to go about this. But the first thing that I would normally do is be very, very simple with it. I'm going to start off with Trendy the developer, Dungeon Defenders 2, press release. Okay? Now this piece of information right here is going to be interesting because you're going to notice that the first things that come up are not going to be Trendy's website. Okay? You're going to see that Gamasutra comes up first. This is not going to be the same situation for every single game. And yes, I will have a VOD of this up later on, just to let you know. So as I was saying, this is not going to be the same situation for every single game, but it's just as simple as that. You're going to go to Gamasutra, you're going to see the information, you're going to get the information that it's been recently released about the title, whether it be a launch date, particular pieces of news. You see where the date of this particular press release was, but unfortunately, this doesn't give you enough information on where to contact folks. So why don't you take a step back? The best place to start is now to go directly to Trendy's page, okay? Trendy Entertainment, all right? We're gonna go down here, and most of you have always faced off against the same thing. You scroll down all the way, you look for information, you kind of pop around the area, you look at careers, you look at the team, you look at the products, you're still not sure where to go, okay? I'm going to bet any kind of money right now that most of you have gone to the info page, DungeonDefenders.com. You've looked around for certain things that you weren't quite sure what to do with them, and it was really bit confusing. I mean, right now, if you go to the page, you're not 100% sure where to look, and that is not the developer's fault. This is just how they set up their page, okay? So you realize you can't find any information here. It's not entirely clear, so you're not sure where to go. So now we go to Twitter. And ignore any of my links. All right, we go to Twitter, and let's go to Trendy Entertainment. So now, all of a sudden, you see the accounts, you see what to do, you see who's available, PR Masher, this is Phil, things like you see who you might want to contact. But you shouldn't be afraid to send a simple tweet saying, hello, I'm an influencer, or I am a streamer, I'm a YouTuber, I'm looking for information on who to speak to about this game. I'd like a review copy, I would like some assets, I would like to be able to get in contact with you for one reason or another. More times than enough, you'll find out that it's a pretty basic information page. So you'll tweet them out and saying, hey, I'm looking for this information. But, this isn't the easiest way to go about it. So let me show you someone who is really, really good about this, okay? We're going to go to EA. EA PR, press release. We'll start there. So EA has an entire page dedicated to the press room, okay? And thank you for the host, Darkness, I appreciate that. EA is dedicated to the entire press room, okay? You're able to come here and look at the main page about every single title that you might be related to EA that you're looking for, okay? We've got, UFC news here. You have the dates on all these press releases. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for mobile. We've got, Mad NFL players looking to tackle. These are press releases and pieces of news that are being pushed out to everyone, okay? It's important that you are signed up for this kind of information. You're going to look here, you're going to take a look at press releases, game assets, corporate assets, and PR contacts. So all the information that you need to contact EA is right there, okay? Go to press contacts, you see it's EA Origin, EA Sports, you look at all different titles and things like that, all right? You click on their name, and there it is. There's an information page to reach out to the person that you think is most likely to be able to help you. However, I understand that this is, where a lot of the clashing begins. This is where a lot of people feel uncomfortable about what to say. They're not quite sure if they're talking to the right person. They're not quite sure if they should be emailing this person at all. And, that's where the information is a little bit confusing. And, this is what I'm looking to fix. When you're contacting a particular business person, whether it's a developer, PR, the CEO of a company, professionalism is key. And we're going to get to how to write that email in a second, but finding the right contact is important. This is when you need to have your information in check. This is when you go, okay, I want to play Star Wars Battlefront. I know it's coming out on this date. I should give myself a little bit of a window before I contact whoever it is I need to contact for this particular game. And then you want to know exactly what you're doing with the content, okay? Whether you're going to create YouTube videos, you plan on uploading the trailer, you plan on doing cosplay videos, you want to do an entire run through of the multiplayer, you want to do all the achievements for trophies. It's okay to be specific because you might have to speak to someone else about the type of content that you might want to produce, because you might be related to pre-release content, or you might just be related to just playing the game. Just because you're streamers and YouTubers doesn't mean that you're just, okay, I'm going to get a copy of the game, I'm going to play it. You're not just relegated to that kind of content. When you have information like the assets or some of the trailers, you might have some use for that for a YouTube channel. And just so you have the information and you're in the circles and you know about the news coming up, you're kind of in the loop. So when you find the contact, when you're taking a look at this, you're not quite sure what to do, because if you're not quite sure what to do, you need to pay some attention. When you look at Sienna Norvell, which I'm not calling out any names, but that's EA Mobile. So if you're a mobile streamer, that's likely the person you might need to speak to. If you're focusing on some PC games for EA Access, maybe some Origin questions, things like that. And by the way, I apologize for the noise. We're close to New York City streets. It's going to be a little bit ridiculous. I apologize for that now. But if you're looking for the right contact, just pay attention. It's right there for you. And we're going to test this out in a little bit to find out if I'm insane and I'm not insane. But you absolutely have all the information right here for you. And I'm going to do it again for someone to pick a random developer, random game. We're going to look it up ourselves and see if we can find that information ourselves. And I want to go from start to finish about what the best steps to take for this. Steps are to take for this. Random game, go for it. Rockstar Games. Okay. Everyone starts screaming about it. You're all too late. All right. So I'm going to go check out Rockstar Games. And guys, I just want to remind you that this isn't me yelling at you. This isn't me trying to, beat you down. This is just really to educate. And, of course I'm going to open up for questions later, but this information really shouldn't be that hard to find. So let's look at Rockstar Games. And let's just start on their regular website, okay? Everything's here, the newswire's here, the crews are here, GTA here, download. It's generally all the information that you would look for. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom immediately. If you take a look, you're going to see this right away. You'll see all their games, you'll see the site, you'll see more for the support, and you'll look at support, careers, corporate info, and there it is again, guys, press contact, okay? I'm going to click on press contact, all right? Now this is going to ask us to open up a new level. I'm just going to open this up really quick. Okay, so all this did was actually open up an email. I know you guys can probably see it in the window now. This actually opened up an email, which is kind of crazy, all right? What happened was it gave me the prompt to email PR@Rockstar Games, okay? So right at this point, you realize that you now have an open window. Don't worry. Oh, sorry, I just realized the screen was hidden. I apologize, Scott. But it was actually at the very bottom of the screen. Let me go back and drag that up a little bit. You guys should be able to see this now. Oh, of course you can't see that. So yeah, it's actually right, if you take a look at where this is, it's actually right down here in this area, okay? So, as I was just saying though, just to kind of catch up with my thoughts, it says PR@Rockstar Games. So now you have the ability you have an open window to contact a very, very, very wide amount of targets. So this is where you really got to think about what kind of message you're about to send. You now have your contact information, so now what are you all about? And this is where I'm going to get directly into the email that you're going to send. Okay? So really simple. We're going to keep this a blank page right now. Give me a sec. There we go. All right. We're going to keep this totally blank for now and just start things off, okay? Thank you, Loretta. I appreciate that. Joyrider. All right. But there's a couple things that you're going to have to remember about this area. Number one is Who are you? Okay, you need to find out, you need to ask yourself, who are you? And you need to make them care who you are. Number 2, what do you want? Sorry, that's number 1. What do you want? Number 3, why do you want it? Number 4, why should we give it to you? Okay, I know this is going to sound a little weird. However, I don't really care if you're a brand new up-and-coming YouTuber or you're one of the top 10 on Social Blade. These people are human beings. They are in the same loop as you. There are 1,000 things going on. They have over 100 inbox email. They have 100 emails in their inbox on a daily basis. There's a lot of moving parts. They get a ton of requests. Something like if Grand Theft Auto 6 was announced tomorrow, they'd have over 1,000 emails in their inbox. So this is where it's important to stand out, but it's also important to be very, very detailed, clear, and professional about what you're looking to do. Okay? So in regards to streamers, very simply put, I am a streamer, YouTuber. Okay? You want to state what your channel is all about. My channel is about X. And to explain that further is if you have a particular genre of of a stream or YouTube page, whether it is you're into sports, you're mostly into RPGs, that's a good start. Okay. Then of course, let's go into why do you want it? You want to make, I want to make Let's Plays. I want to stream this. And you can go into why, because your community is very much used to these particular games. So if you're into Witcher and if you're into particular RPGs, you should explain that. You should, if you're a variety caster, although you may play a wide range of games, there must be something about your channel that might make you stand out just a little bit more than usual. Oops, sorry, hang tight. It might make you stand out a little bit more than usual because if I have somebody who's predominantly a League of Legends broadcaster or somebody who has a ton of Call of Duty content on their page and they haven't posted anything in months, and then all of a sudden you ask for Skyrim, I'm going to start asking questions about why I should be able to add you to this particular list, okay? So then it goes into why do you want it? What are you going to do? You're going to stream it once? Or are you just going to make a single video on it? You're going to make an entire video series? Talk to me about all of your plans. I don't need an entire 300-page synopsis. Just give me a bit of a breakdown because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start researching you. And people who have recently started working with me know that I really dig into your lives. I find out if you said anything on Twitter recently, who you're talking to, who your friends are. And yeah, I go very deep because it's extremely important to find out who I'm working with. There are particular influencers out there that I do not want to be associated with. And in turn, I don't want my clients associated with you because in a lot of ways, when they ask me to go off and look for particular influencers to play these games for people to kind of get into it, it is imperative that I don't give them the wrong targets because if you, as a toxic individual in your community or somebody who may not be the best particular brand ambassador for that product, it's not really the best course of action for me to give them your contact and get you on board with a game that doesn't make sense. For those of you who know how I work, I'm more inclined to give a title to 5 evangelists that want to play a game for an extended period of time than even some of the biggest streamers out there who are going to play it once and hate every minute of it. That's a waste of my time. And that's just how I work. That is not how every other developer works. Some people just chase numbers. And I'm going to be honest with you about that. It's the truth. This is how they do things. But in an ideal world, what we're moving towards is having relevant content related to your channel and being as buttoned up and as clear as you possibly can be about what you represent, what your brand is what this is all about. So that's where you want to answer, why do you want it? And this is where you're free to say, I plan on doing X, Y, and Z, okay? Then, of course, why they should give it to you. This is where and this isn't as crazy as you think it is. You want to say, channel links. You want your numbers. And to follow up with that one, guys, your numbers are not all about how many followers you have. When it comes to, we'll start with YouTube. Okay? YouTube, what we're really looking for nowadays is you want to know how many views per video you get. Okay? Not just how many subscribers you have, but, you know, put your subs in there as well. Alrighty? And you could also put down how often you post. If you post a video every single day and each video gets 2 views versus somebody who posts a video every single week but all their videos get 1,000 views, there's something going on there. Alrighty? So how often you post. Okay? And that's when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to Twitch, I'm typing this out because I just want you to see that I'm not kind of fabricating this. It's just something I wanted to kind of, you know, do with you. When it comes to Twitch, followers are okay, but I also want to see your concurrent viewers. And here's why. And I know there isn't a single person who's in this chat right now that probably hasn't seen this. You'll notice that there are some streamers out there who, for some strange reason, have 200 people in their chat. No one's talking. Okay? That's kind of weird. But there's some people who also have maybe 600,000, 500,000 viewers, followers and 20 viewers. That's extremely weird. And it's not to say that you're doing anything malicious. I'm not accusing anybody, but streamers are all about reaction. They're all about interaction. They're all about community. You know, we want people engaged. Engagement is the key word here. So if you know that you've just started out, your partner, your brand new partner, and you only have 16,000 followers, but there's 300 people in your chat all the time and everyone's there engaging, you are a huge value to me. I look for that all the time. But when I go to a particular channel with a ton of followers and, you know, maybe plenty of subs, but there's really no engagement in a particular product, why would I be excited about you? So, you know, the finite thing that I want to explain here is, you know, why should I be excited about you? Okay. So I know that this might feel like this is, how do you say, I feel like this might be, you know, pretty easy to say, but you'd be very shocked to know how many people really don't see this side of it. They type in a very, very simple email, which I will not show you those emails, but I heard you had this game. Can I have it, please? I'm not joking. I get emails like that all the time. I also get emails that, you know, explore very, very long periods of someone's life. And they give me their life story. They tell me about their issues that they had in the past. And they feel as if this particular story might encourage us to give you codes. That doesn't work. And it's not to discredit any of your hardships in the past, but this is business first. And I want everyone to understand that. Because it's not going to help my clients giving you a game, and it supports you moving forward, but this is about ROI. Our clients do need exposure for their particular games, and it's about sales. Okay, I said it. And it's not just about the biggest streamers and the biggest YouTubers. It's about what you can do with your message. This is where the connection is, guys. This is about, okay, my community works for this game. Everyone I know, everyone I play with, they are all about this. You are literally giving games to influencers because those particular communities are pockets of the demographics that we want to sell that game to. So if you're an influencer bringing that game to people who you know are going to love this, like it's like kind of going to your friends at school. Like, hey, guys, I know this game that you're all going to love. I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to play it with you. We're going to stream it. And this is why I got a copy of it, whether you bought it or a developer gave it to you. And I hope that analogy makes a lot of sense. So, going back to some of my earlier thoughts before, when it comes to, you know, writing the email, some of those notes are, you know, pretty basic. And, you know, we talked about how to search. You know, we talked about, you know, understanding that a lot of these PR managers and a lot of these developers get a ton of emails. I'm going to speak to that for a second. That is not a cry for help. It's not a cop-out plea. It is this literal fact. When you think about an announcement going as big as Fallout or, you know, Minecraft Story Mode, there's a lot of games that just go, holy crap, that's huge. There isn't a team of cyber monkeys processing all your emails. They're all people. There's no automatic, you know, divvy up saying, oh, big streamer, little streamer, you know, big to you. So there's a human mind reading all of these emails and making decisions based on the research that they do. So when you're writing your email, you only have a short amount of time to really get their attention, because I'm looking, you know, in depth with a lot of different channels and broadcasts, but I am one of those few people who's very in tune with this world. So when you're talking about somebody who is not 100% familiar with Twitch and YouTube, and they're kind of like looking at numbers and they're not quite sure what to do, you will face some adversities there because not everyone is aware of what this world is like. And if you guys even trust me enough to understand that I know this world better than most of my friends do and most of my own colleagues do, it's just important to me. But that's just me. If you have an executive, developer, or if you have some people who don't even know what Twitch is, but they want to give you a game, you got to tell them why. Because the bad part about that is if they're ever rubbed the wrong way, if a particular broadcaster, YouTuber decides to, purposely slander a person's game, or they decide to not be forthright about broadcasting it, they play it for 5 minutes and they leave, and that developer is invested in you. Unfortunately, a lot of those influencers might paint the picture for the entire medium for a while, and you want to make sure you represent yourself as a brand and keep yourself strong that way. It's the only way to work. It's a better way to work, and I don't think that the actions of a few bad eggs should really inhibit the rest of you, which is why I'm such an advocate for making sure that people are working with influencers, but I want it done the right way. So. We spoke about responding. I just check up my notes. I apologize. So we already talked about going to the regular website. Let me go back to searches because I feel like we didn't really dig deep enough into that. And I'm jumping around. I apologize. But again, I didn't really practice this. So we talked about jumping around for searches. And we had the opportunity to kind of look at Rockstar as an example of where to look. So let's try something else, okay? I'm going to go back to Twitter, okay? Okay. And I know that you may not be able to find content information, but now Twitter etiquette and such, okay? I know that you have a very particular type of dialect on Twitter, and that may not follow through with a lot of other developers. Let's use Bethesda, for example, okay? We're going to start there because everyone knows Bethesda, everyone knows Fallout, okay? There's just under 1 million people following them. They have a lot of things going on. They do have community managers and people monitoring their Twitter. It isn't just one guy. It's a good amount of people who are there. I mean, maybe it is just one guy. I wouldn't know. But when you're about to send this tweet to Bethesda, okay, and it's related to your business, you better recognize that you're literally representing everything you are in a single tweet. Because if you say something that's inadvertently offensive or something that just kind of makes them look like, I really don't want to work with you, that's going to happen right there. Is this the number one way to contact people? No. But if you were to type to Bethesda, hello Bethesda, hello there, I'm looking for content information for PR or any type of press. Any kind of tweet, keep it professional, okay? Just know that everyone's looking at you. 9 times out of 10, you may not get a response, but really good community managers, especially ones like, I won't start naming names. I feel like that'd be bad. I won't start naming names, but there are a lot of strong community managers out there who always respond. They're paying attention. They're looking for information. As you guys see, I'm extremely active when it comes to looking for information from certain people, and I'm able to tweet back and forth to folks when I want information on you. I want people to play the game that I'm promoting, and Twitter has been a fantastic tool for that. So I just really think that it's it's a good elevator pitch, as you're saying in the chat. It's an important tool to use. So now that Twitter might be exhausted, Facebook, which I'm not going to go to right now, Facebook is a good option as well to kind of go, hey, I'm looking for content information. You need to spend the time when you're off channel or when you're not broadcasting, even if you have to cut yourself a half hour a day just to send 1 or 2 emails out to the people who are literally looking for you to provide games to. Spend some time running your business, because I know some people are very adamant about buying their own games, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But many of you don't have the finances, 1, to buy every single brand new game out there, and number 2, early access is a very, very big part of why influencers are motivated. Having it first, having the first exclusive. I get that. Editorial is no different, guys. Like having the first particular. Having the first editorial post on a particular piece of news, those guys headhunt too, but it's a whole lot harder for you. I think that it has been the most engaging amount of, it has been the most amazing amount of engagement when it comes to how you're looking for games, but the amount of disconnect happening between PR companies, developers, influencers has just been miscommunication. It's been very unclear emails coming from influencers. It's been PR managers unaware of what to do about the situation. It's also been a lot of PR managers who have been unaware of who's valuable and who's not. Because unfortunately there are some channels out there who have been snagging codes. They've been snagging codes saying, oh yeah, this will be just fine. I'll play this game, and they never play it, they never produce content. And let's just be honest, as a PR manager, it's my job to bring attention to the game, to get it hyped. So if I had trusted you to produce content, and I'm gonna get back to that in a second, if I trusted you to produce content, nothing came from it, you're kind of putting my job on the line. You shouldn't feel bad for me, no, but it is something that you should consider, because when you get a free game from a developer, that is not a signed contract that you owe them anything. It's not. I am not somebody who likes to dabble in paid content. I don't like to say, hey, you need to deliver this for one, or you need to make sure you give us a video, or you stream this game, because I'm going to be able to tell the difference between somebody who genuinely enjoyed a particular title and somebody who was just kind of paid to kind of put some content out there. And guys, yes, people are paid to produce content on YouTube and Twitch. Oh my God, big surprise. So I want you to know that just because you get a free game does not mean you have to do anything with it, but it's important to be respectful. If you're going to accept free content from a developer, whether it's directly from a small indie right up to some of the biggest publishers like EA, Activision, and Ubisoft, if you do nothing with that content, what makes them want to trust you later? Not only are you, losing, you're only burning your own bridges, but you're not being honest with the PR managers or the teams. You're cheating yourself out of particular content. You're cheating other influencers who are very genuinely excited and can't get that content now because of you. Is it really too hard to ask you to at least be very honest and forthright and keep the communication going between developers and PR companies? I don't think it's too much to ask, but I want to make sure you guys understand that it's both sides of the coin on this. Because, well, I'm going to stop saying because. I keep saying that often. I'm kind of trailing on and on and on and on, and I apologize for that. So that leads me to the final piece of the pie right now, because I still need to open up for questions, because this isn't going to be a long stream, and I do want to make sure people have enough questions. Responding. When you respond to a particular email, let's just say, hey, we're going to give you a copy of this game. Fantastic! You need to make sure you have a few things in check, okay? Just gonna scroll down here, okay? Here's a couple things you need to make sure you do, guys. Number one, expectations. You wanna know embargoes, all right? You wanna know the rules behind it, because, if they ask you to not talk about certain pieces of the game just yet, maybe stay away from multiplayer, maybe stay away from the single player, please don't spoil, you better know those rules, because you need to protect yourself, and they need to protect themselves. And if someone didn't give you the right embargo, it's not your fault, But if for some reason you don't have the information, and it's pre-launch, and you're not 100% sure, you take the time to send that email or send that tweet saying, hey, I don't want to, kind of mess anything up for anybody else, because it's a lot less fallout if you just take the time to keep contact. And if they don't respond, I apologize for that one. But again, going back to how many emails may come in, I know everyone does their very, very best. My rule is to have 0 inbox messages as best as I can by the end of the week. So know the rules behind your games. I apologize for this. That's weird. No, I'm going to keep it there. Alrighty, so thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. You want to know all the rules behind the embargoes. You want to know all the rules behind the game, and then after setting the expectations of what they want you to do, follow up. If you have more ideas that you want to produce, if you need art assets, if you need, and let's just shut off the whole getting more copies for gameplay, getting more copies for giveaways. Okay, let's just shut that off for a second. You have the right to ask for assets. there are art assets, there are trailers. You have the right to talk about interviews. You have the right to talk about other things you can do to enhance this particular game, especially if you're so passionate about it. So take the time to kind of go, okay, what else can I do with this one game? I know for some people it might just be a one and done, but for other people this game might be a real investment for you. So think about other ways that you can kind of collaborate with the developers, collaborate with PR companies, see what else they can give you to support your channel, because this is your business, period. And we're here to help, and if we don't know what you want, if we just think that you need a copy of the game and that's it, that's all you're going to get. We're not going to know anything else. So you have to have the courage to kind of say, I'm going to ask for X, Y, and Z. And there's other examples of that, but I'm not going to get too into this. So after that, setting expectations for embargoes and the rules. Timing is extremely important. Actually producing this content in a timely manner, because if we, give you a code or a copy of the game or give you early access and you can't get to it, just communicate that, because here's how the system works. We get our clients come to us, say, hey, we're going to give you these many copies of the games. You're going to get it out to these particular folks. My clients in particular say, hey, you're getting a bunch of codes for streamers and YouTubers already. They're going to get the codes on this day. And they're going to ask me, when can we expect them to stream, or when can we expect to see YouTube videos? And that's when I usually have a heart attack. Because you know my rules. I don't force you guys to make any content at all. It's not my place to force you, because you're human beings, you're individuals, and you don't have an entire business empire behind you. So if you get hit by a bus, if you get sick, if you can't stream, if your computer breaks, if your PS4 breaks, if anything happens, something might affect that content. But you have to stay in communication with us about it, because I am going to build an entire list of, hey, here's all the games you gave me, and here's what I did with it. Here are all the streamers that played this game. Here's all the minutes that they streamed. Here's all the videos that they made. Here's all the hype, because all I'm going to do is compare that to sales data later. How did it work out? Was it a success? Is the game a massive failure? Did you have a lot of crashes? Did you have problems? This is that level of communication that is just not happening between us, and it needs to start in droves. Because the way I see an influencer is, you guys are 100% the line between so many people who say, I might buy this game or I'm not going to buy this game. So if you're genuinely having fun, or if you're generally frustrated, your opinion probably hits a lot harder than some review on an editorial website. And I'm being sincerely honest about that. There are plenty of games out there that sat at a 5 or a 6 on major editorial sites like IGN and GameSpot and Polygon, but you guys are still playing it every single day. I mean, League of Legends debuted with a 6 out of 10, and it's got re-reviewed ever since then. What does that tell you about influencers? It tells you that people are there to see your opinion of the game. They're either like-minded folks like you, they play the same games as you, and they're looking for your opinion. If you can keep that frame of mind locked in to and then if you can keep that kind of that state of thinking the whole time, you'll see every aspect of this kind of come together. And not only, in my opinion, this is my opinion, by the way, just a reminder, this isn't a rule book, but I think every aspect of your stream will improve when you kind of think of it that way, when you think about every little aspect of what you're doing. So, I do believe I have covered just about everything when it comes to responding. I would like to open it up for questions because I don't have too much time left, but I'm going to do my very best because I feel like questions might start spamming. I didn't realize many people were in the chat. But if there are questions you guys have about getting in contact with folks, I'd like to answer them because I feel like I might have missed something. So the floor is open. I feel like I should play Jeopardy music, but I may not do that. Twitch Therapist. That is a fantastic name, by the way. So if there are no questions in the chat, which I'm kind of surprised to see, unless I've just missed them all. Yeah, I guess so. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. What if you provide, say, homework to the community? How do you correctly let them know? So, check it out. One question is, I see. I'm gonna have to copy paste these questions over because now the chat's moving like crazy. So hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry. If you provide homework to the community, how do you correctly let them know? I think, if I'm answering this question correctly, if I'm providing homework to the community, I'm pretty much telling them to kind of, I'd probably tell them through Twitter. It's just the most open contact area. I don't really have any secret forums or things like that. I do speak to some streamers privately, but that's all business related. I think just kind of letting them know, hey, you've got this X, Y, and Z ability, but our PR firm isn't really in the position to exclusively help streamers the way I would like to. It's a very difficult position to be in. It's so relative to so many channels. We would need a team of at least 20 people to do what would be necessary. So I hope I answered that question correctly. I'm going to try really hard to catch all these questions. How can you get started as a non-partner streamer? I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best person to ask that question. I think it's better if you take the time to take a look at the streamers that you already watch and kind of know. To kind of answer this question as simply and quickly as possible. This is an entertainment service. That's what Twitch is. That's what YouTube is. This is entertainment. And when it comes to starting out, I think that if you look at my Twitter, one particular mantra that I just will not put down is I can give a brand new game to every single brand new up and coming streamer. If you're not entertaining, then no one cares. Just being honest with you, I've seen some of the biggest games leaked out on Twitch day one. 3 days before launch, and there's people who are playing it and they barely have any viewers in their chat because people don't care. If they were there, some people are there for the game, don't get me wrong, but people are there for you. So find out how entertaining, what kind of entertainment you want to provide, whether it's high skill gameplay, comedy, random interactions and such, and recognize what kind of person you are. Build your brand, know what kind of channel you want, and go from there. I'm going to Amber Ways of Game. How do I help stand out from larger streamers requesting code? So I'm actually going to answer that question, okay? Standing out compared to larger streamers. I'm going to show you I'm going to tell you how I look at it and likely how other developers look at it and PR companies. Numbers to a majority of the AAA space do matter because they're concerned, they're interested in their return on investment, okay? They want to know, okay, if I, spend this amount of dollars, sending this game to this person, what am I going to get in return? Am I going to get a lot of hits, a lot of views? It's all marketing. To stand out against that is possibly having a unique take on the particular content. The ideas around that are so relative to every single game. I've seen some people, deck themselves out in full cosplay while they played Until Dawn, and they were able to reach the top of the page because they were playing that particular game. You will, if you could find a way to stand out based on what you intend on doing differently, that's a good way to kind of stand out. But if you're, sitting there, 10, recent subscribers or, maybe even 5 viewers at once, it is going to be hard to penetrate. I'm not going to lie about that. But, one message to many of the small streamers is, I think a lot of small streamers can learn from this. Stop chasing the big games. Stop chasing the new hotness. If you are true to what your channel is all about, then you're playing the games that you want to play. So if the game that you want to play is Fallout, you go ahead and play Fallout. You may not get an early copy, but go ahead and play that one and find some unique ways to produce content around that. Maybe talk about, maybe go from vault to vault, do it on impossible mode, maybe do it all with a switchblade. I'm just giving out random examples of find a way to stand out with the content before you go chasing the big boys. Because the way I personally do it is when I look at a person's channel and I see that they're going to be kind of unique with what they do, I've seen them play other games, I've taken a risk on quite a few people that I know a lot of other developers wouldn't have, and it did work out in the end. And I'm not going to name those particular channels, but they did grow and they had fantastic broadcasts because they had the courage to kind of, get out there and try something brand new. But guys, if you're a smaller channel, stop chasing all the big games. You should be playing games that you only want to play. So, I mean, because if you're a variety caster and you're just starting out and you're chasing only the brand new AAA games, I don't believe for 1 second that that's all you want to play. I mean, if you're entertaining enough, I get that. But if you're all about a particular kind of mood, if you're all about MMOs and such, and you keep growing with that community, you talk to other broadcasters, or you talk to other, talk to your community, you invite them into play, you keep things going. That's really the best way to win. But again, this is really just based on my opinion. There's 1,000 other opinions out there from people who are far more qualified to answer the question than I am. But this is just what I've legitimately seen success versus, the lack of success on Twitch. Eddie, have you gone over how to approach a company, professional versus non-professional? Do you act like a robot? Okay, actually, you know what? Brotato, I did not ask that properly. And by the way, if I missed your question, please repost it in the chat. I feel like I didn't really do that properly. So when it comes to, being professional in your emails, guys, it's really not that hard. Proper introductions, okay? Who are you? Proper spelling, proper formatting. Here's a couple topics that you guys might have heard about that I really want you to be careful with. If you're going to copy paste the same email to every single developer, we're going to catch up on that really quickly, because at several times, my firm handles anywhere from 10 to 15 games at a time. So if you've requested 3 games and that are all coming to me and I saw the same copy paste email, I'm going to get a little bit upset. And it's not because, I know you're in a rush, so to speak, to kind of get copies out there, but what's the harm in, tweaking an email for a game that you really want to invest in? What's the harm in really tweaking an email properly to kind of suit the need for it? I know it seems tedious, but what's worse, writing an email that you put some thought into and not getting a response, or getting shut down because all you did was copy paste because you were too lazy to properly do it? On the other side of that fence is, you need to make sure you've got the right game in mind. Make sure you're contacting the right person. Make sure you're contacting the right publisher, developer. I'm just going to throw some comments out there. If I ever see somebody ask me for a game on the PC that's a PS4 exclusive, I'll scream at you. Yeah, and I'm serious. This is all a true story. If I have people who are unaware of what particular platform the game's coming out on or what date it's coming out on, I'm going to be a little bit upset, because if this is public knowledge and you didn't do your research, you look bad. Period. And I think, if you treat it like a resume, and of course Headwind just said that, I think you'll find a lot of better responses. Because even if it's a no, good PR managers, good developers still respond and explain why it's a no. And when you see why that's a no, it should give you some incentive. Okay, here's what I should go. Here's what I need to do. Okay, it's a no for now, but maybe after launch it's a yes. It's a no for now, but maybe in a couple days it might be a yes. Just stay in contact, but stay respectful, because everybody in this industry knows each other. Hell, I'm afraid of this chat because I don't know who's looking at me right now, but everyone knows each other, and when you start burning bridges, it bites you in the ass very, very, very hard. So I say, no matter what, stay professional. Keep your life story out of it. Keep it short and sweet, but have your details in there. Sell your story. You know what I mean? There's the pitch right here. This is who I am. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's why I want it. Here's why you should give it to me. And the rest is up to them. And after that, following up to find out whether it was here's why it was yes, and here's what I should do, and here's why it was no, and here's what I'm going to do. And I'm not answering that question, DJ. Of course, gold. Here from EA. Good to see you. If there is anybody on the PR level, developer level that's in this chat that has anything to add, or if you have a grievance with anything that I've said today, I am not afraid of those particular comments. I am more than comfortable, fixing any mistakes, because I'm learning as much as anyone else is. Let me know if you want to take it off channel, or if you want to mention it here. If I've been helpful, please let me know. If there's other PR managers that need assistance in helping with influencers and communicating with them, I've had a lot of successful methods, and I think my most successful method of working with most of the influencers I do is that they're remembering that they're human beings. And I say that a lot because I feel like people look at a name, they look at a streamer, and they see a business, which is what it is, but they forget that behind that business is only a single person. And if anything happens to them, whether they had that good day or bad day, remembering that they do go through that on a daily basis, because being a streamer flat out is one of the most difficult things I've ever witnessed in my life, next to, literally being in a war zone. I'm not next to that, I'm not going to compare it, it wouldn't be right, but I've been a professional chef for years. I have been burned, seared, cut every day of the week, and this is still harder than that. Like, I've had some of the hardest days of my life, and I tried to stream for a month straight, and good lord, I have no idea how they do it. Like, seriously, I do not. So I try to take that level of respect to them when I do work with them, because I think they deserve that. So, let's see here. Yes, Megan, please give us time to respond. That's a very good comment. Yeah, that's really hard. Response times are tough, and I've been guilty as well. I'm so apologetic whenever I miss a particular email. I see a big question here. Hold on. There's a good time frame to follow up the company who you sent an initial email to and responded to, but they haven't responded back. Sly. I think this is all dependent on how far away from the release date. If this game is, or this particular piece of content is like 6 months away, I'd say, maybe wait another month before you email them. But let's just say launch was on Tuesday. You have to understand that everyone's probably in a crunch. And if they haven't gotten to you, I mean, it's a tough window, because let's say you emailed them 2 weeks before. I already consider you already kind of late to the party. So you want to email somebody at a minimum of 1 month before actual launch of the game. And if you're really not hearing anything 2 weeks later, I think it's polite. I think it's more than polite to kind of say, hey, I did send this email back. I understand that you're busy, or things might be going, because a few things might have happened. The email might have gone to the person that should have forwarded to someone else, and it may not have gotten to them yet. Could be on vacation. That person could be on maternity, and nobody knows that. It might get stuck in a void, and I really don't want any influencer to take that as offense. This is really just sometimes a level of communication that might have been missed, and you shouldn't feel offended if there's a PR manager or developer offending you, unless you feel like you might have done something offensive. But we work as professionals, and we don't hold grudges that way. And if we are, we're doing something wrong. But if you have taken the time to kind of write a proper email, and you haven't heard anything back, it is okay to poke. And you know what? If you haven't gotten a response still, you may want to go to a different avenue, because you might be contacting the wrong person. That person might have been fired, and their inbox could be, filling up. I mean, I have a myriad of reasons why you may not have heard back, but just take the time to kind of poke, and again, resort to other areas of communication to say, hey, I'm not trying to push. I just want to make sure that I've crossed my T's and dotted my I's. No one's going to get mad at you for that. Okay, no one's gonna get mad at you for covering your ass because you want, particular pieces of content. That you've got a relationship with these developers, or you know that you at least deserve an answer. Our mantra here at Sandbox is we respond to everybody, and if I haven't responded to you, that's on me. I've screwed up, and I apologize for that. So if you don't get a response, I think that's just bad form. So that's my answer to that. When dealing with companies, whether it be games or opportunities, say they throw you a few hoops as they become detrimental to your time, how hard does an influencer get burned for speaking up to them? So I don't really want to make this sound strange. If they're throwing you through loops, so to speak, and I really don't want you to assume that, they're really trying to throw you through loops. They might just be, going through the process that was given to them. I would say that if you've kind of jumped through, if you feel as if you're kind of being run around and around and around, I say just kind of let it go. I feel like it usually takes a good amount of back and forth to kind of feel that way, because if there's like a back and forth and they're saying, okay, now you got to do this and now you got to do that, I can't really see too many situations where that happens. So if you're feeling kind of uncomfortable with the situation, maybe instead of taking the frustration out, maybe want to step back. They may not be 100% clear on what's going on. On the flip side, just giving you from my perspective, sometimes you're getting orders from the top down that are just all over the place, and then we have to communicate that again to you. and it legitimately may not have anything to do with you at all, but we're being kind of told, now you got to do this. Okay, now we have to do this. Okay, guys, now you have to do this. And it's a shame, but it really may not be anyone's fault, but, the hierarchy above sending down orders. And I'm not going to give any insight on where that's happened, but it certainly is a bit of a mess sometimes. Try not to take it personally. And if it's affecting your time, again, with influencers, your time is quite literally money. And I wouldn't spend too much time on it. I think that there are too many other opportunities out there for you to be focusing on, for you to be stuck on one particular project, especially if it's really not as seamless as it should have been. So guys, I'm only able to take one more question. I apologize, but if you have more questions, as always, just going to Eddie@sandboxstrat.com. You guys can email me questions that you might have if I didn't answer them here. Just give me just a second. I'm just going to answer one more question. This one's from Nikon. Do devs get upset if we tell it like it is, talking up a game because we got a code? I tend to talk straight, so many of our viewers trust my opinions. Okay, so yeah, let me tell you that is a fine line, because there are, just to let you know, you're an influencer that tells the truth. This is nothing new to any form of entertainment. Anybody who faces criticism about their product or what they enjoy may get defensive, may get emotional, may get upset. This is a very fine line I'm walking talking about this, only because I don't want to speak about everyone else's policy when it comes to how they deal with negative comments about their products. If a developer or a public relations firm feels as if you've burned them based on what you said, it should only be based if you gave false information, late information, or if it was unwarranted. So if you are purposely being offensive about a product out of a personal vendetta or spite, I think if you've gone down that road, I think you deserve to get blacklisted. If you are giving honest and sincere feedback about a game's bugs and crashes, because there's a point in time where there's things that are just facts, like this game is crashing all the time, or I think this game could have used more modes. There's a very, very big ocean of opinion there, and I think it's important to kind of be very specific about your comments and opinions, because some of it can just come off as slander, where you're just being a bigot for no reason, and other times it's like, no, this is technical information. This is where we messed up. This needs to be worked on, and a lot of developers are going to read a little bit differently based on what they, what you said in the review or what you're saying on stream. Sometimes, if it's not a patch, sometimes you might say something that might be related to an inventory item you're not aware of, or, there could be a gameplay aspect that you don't understand and you might have said something, but, I think it's important to remember what you're saying and how you're saying it. Stay on the technical and stay on the high road. You know what I mean? You don't want to go saying, "Oh, this ending was bullshit." You want to communicate that the ending wasn't as satisfying as I had hoped it had been. There are very, very nice ways to say bad things. Ask any food critic. Ask any music critic. I mean, the list goes on. If you look at every other medium that has proposed criticism in the past, they all face the same situation, and there's always backlash. So the truth is, you're never really going to stop that. One day, you're going to say something that you saw as a technical issue, and they're just going to really be upset about it, and that's just the truth. But this final statement is me speaking to influencers, streamers, and YouTube folks. People are here for you. People are here watching you. They're watching you stream. They're watching your content. You work your butts off to do it, and you need to manage the content the way you want to. I don't think you should be bending over backwards for anyone else but yourself and your community, because they're who comes first. On our side of the fence, we will do as best as we can to communicate and get you the content you need, and we'll push forward. But you need to be able to defend and protect yourselves and be very, very honest about every single thing that you're doing. You need to be very honest about all your opinions, because there's nothing worse than you being dishonest about something that you gave an opinion on and your community calls you out for it. You'll lose everything. A developer can sell a bad game and probably recover, or they can, get low scores, low sales. But if you lose everything, you're losing your business. And I don't think there's anybody on my side of the fence that wants to see you lose your integrity or your community or everything that you've built because, we wanted you to play by the rules. If you're not comfortable with the rules, don't play them. Don't play by, don't take content that you're not comfortable talking about. If there's a developer asking you to sign a contract that you're just like, you know what, this doesn't work for me, take a step back. Be honest with yourself and be honest about it, because I've already seen it destroy some careers, and you guys probably know who I'm talking about. So from that, I do have to stop answering questions now. I'm going to again put my email in the chat just so you guys have a place to contact. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time out of your day to kind of join me here. I'll put up a VOD of this whole piece here. Again, if you don't agree with my information, please speak up, because I need to be corrected when I'm wrong, and I want to grow where I'm right. If you have other questions where I can be of assistance, my email will be there, my Twitter's there, ask publicly, start a discussion. And besides that, thank you everyone for being here today, and I will see you guys very soon. I think I'll be on a podcast this Sunday with Professor Broman and T-Rex and some really good people. So I'll see you guys this Sunday, and have a good day.